I don't know about you, but music moves me. Whether it's listening to a fast, energetic song that gets me pumped up and excited, or I'm listening to a sad, depressing song that makes me sad and depressed, music overall moves me, and I think it moves a lot of us. Well, a song that we've been singing at New Life for a little bit now is a song called Build My Life. It's a great song, and it's an impactful song. And the other day when I was on my run, I was listening to this song, and I just got so excited. And I thought, I need to build my life around Jesus. I need to build my life around that hope. And it made me think of like, well, how can we all just build our lives around Jesus? How can we build our lives around that hope? And so today I'm just going to talk about 3 different things that we can do to build our lives around Jesus and the hope that he gives us. The first thing we can do is to ask God, to pray to God, to open our eyes to his wonders. You know, 2 Kings 6:17 says this. Elijah prayed and said, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elijah. You know, all throughout history, God has done amazing things, and God is still doing amazing things. The problem is we don't always see it, and I think that's normal. We don't always see the work of God. But what we can do is we can ask God to open up our eyes to see what he wants us to see, and that we can be changed and impacted because of that. See, when we see things from a godly perspective, it impacts who we are. And we get to see things, and we get to hope for things, and we get to be changed by God's love for us and for other people. So I would encourage you, if you want to build your life around the hope, around faith in Jesus, we have to open our eyes to God and see what he's seen so that we can act in a way that is according to his purposes. And that leads us to number 2. The second thing we can do is to ask God to lead us out of his love. See, when we open up the eyes to see what Jesus wants us to see, guess what? Our heart is going to be impacted because we're going to be filled with compassion, filled with love for other people. You know, Romans 5:8 says this, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we are still sinners, Christ died for us. God made the ultimate sacrifice by sending his son to die for us out of his love so that all of us could have a relationship with him again. And remember what Jesus said when asked about what's the greatest thing that he can do, what's the greatest thing that any person could do. And Jesus responded by saying 2 things. The first thing is love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love God with everything you've got. And the second thing is to love other people as you love yourself. Hey, we need to lead out of God's love. When we ask God to open up our eyes, we are impacted, we are changed. We get to see all the works that God is doing, and we can act out of love, a sacrificial love that God gives us and that God has for all of us. So act out of God's love. Lead out of God's love. If you want a full life, you want to build your life around a sure foundation, you have to have God's love in you. You have to lead out of that love. So embrace God's love and let that love lead you to make an impact on other people. And the last thing you can do is put your trust in him and build a firm foundation in godly principles, godly love, godly life. It says this, Matthew 7:24. Jesus says, everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a man who has built his house on a rock. Jesus is saying, you want a sure foundation? You want a great, firm foundation in your life? You want to build your life around something? Build your life around me. Build your life around my words and lead out of that. Lead out of my words. Obey them. You'll have a sure foundation and you'll withstand any temptation. You'll withstand any trial. You'll withstand anything that you encounter because your sure foundation is in God. So again, if you want to lead your life, if you want to build your life with a sure foundation and a great hope, you can do these 3 things. You can ask God to open your eyes to the wonders that he has seen so you can lead out of that love. And if you build your life and you put your trust on godly principles in the words of Jesus, you're going to be impacted. And the great thing about it is not only you're impacted, but other people are impacted as well. People's lives are being changed because of the way you're living your life and what you're doing with your life. So that's my encouragement for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it encourages you. Hey, Hey, if you've got any questions about this, definitely hit it in the comment section below. I would love to talk to you a little bit more about it. Or you can just simply email us at students@newlife.church. We would love to talk to you more about this. Hey, live according to godly principles, lead out of God's love, and ask God to open up your eyes to see what He wants you to see. And you will make a difference today and every day.